Alright, before this video starts, I just want to say that this video is written down, like the placements of the teams in March, and then I did the voiceover in April. The reason why it hasn't come out sooner is honestly procrastination and working on other stuff. So yeah, if anything's already aged horribly, it's that's my excuse. Yeah, in case anything seems a little outdated in what I say, because it probably will, considering how much has already changed in these few months. So enjoy the video. I'm also going to be talking about some other notable teams that I don't have in the Premier League or Championship, which I'm going to be starting off with right now. Alright, now that we got the lower league sides out of the way that I wanted to talk about, although there's a few others that I could talk about, like MK Dons, who are hopefully out of the football leagues. I'm holding out hope. Like, I don't know. I'll just say it. It's 19th in the National League. Make it happen. But, but yeah, anyways, let's go into the Championship now. 24th, Cardiff. Yeah, this is going to be their second time going down. Kind of unfortunate for Cardiff. They have not been that good the last few years, and I'm more and more convinced that we're going to be seeing them down in League One. And yeah, I think they're going to be regular. They're managed by Wayne Rooney. Yep. I think this will be Wayne Rooney's first time in the Championship again since his sacking at Plymouth that just happened this season. I think he'll have to drop down to League One or be a pundit, but Rooney is too goddamn boring to be a pundit. Have you heard that guy talk? Are you serious? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He's going to definitely have to, I don't know what he's going to do. Like, genuinely, yeah. So, yeah, he'll be sacked by Cardiff as well as Steven Schumacher, and I think Tom Huddlestone will take over in the final, 6 games this season. I think Cardiff are going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he'll be the manager down in League One. 23rd, Lincoln City. Yes, first new pro side here. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time Lincoln City's ever been to the Championship. I might be wrong on that. I might have to check. This is definitely the first time in decades, that's for sure. I don't remember the last time I've heard of Lincoln City in the Championship. But yeah, Lincoln looked really good for a while, but they kind of got stuck in League One. I honestly think they're going to be a bit of a fluke team. I don't think people are going to be thinking of Lincoln as, man, they really deserve this spot. They probably end up getting 6th and somehow winning playoffs. However, I do think they'll be competing pretty well in the Championship, only losing out by only about 5 or so points. Similarly to Wycombe back a few years ago, where they went up to the Championship out of nowhere, and they actually, kind of held on despite having no one that should have been able to help them hold on to a spot potentially in the Championship. All those guys are so clearly League One quality. This will be a very similar thing where Lincoln is such an obvious League One quality team that actually nearly stayed up. They'll be managed by current Shrewsbury goaltender Rob Elliott. 22nd, Norwich. I hate to do it, but I honestly think that there's going to be one team at least in the Championship that's going to have such bad financial issues or actually get points deducted in this year. It's going to be Norwich. 12 points deducted. Instead of them potentially getting 18th in the league, they're dropping to 22nd due to a bunch of financial issues. At one point managed by Neil Harris, but near the end of the year, they'll be managed by Lee Carsley, current England under 21s manager, I believe. 21st, Queen's Park Rangers. It's going to be a disaster of a season for QPR. One that is probably not even one they were really expecting after maybe even having some decent seasons. They're going to start relying too much on old and aging players, and just people in the team are just going to be way too old and way out of touch in the sport. And it's really going to hit them hard this season. They did this back when they were in the Premier League as well. They got promoted and they brought in Rio Ferdinand in fucking 2015. Yeah, I mean, come on. But yeah, they'll be managed by Rafa Benitez, who I think will definitely be way out of his element in 2030. And will be replaced by Alex Neil, and they'll barely stay up, only by about a point over a 12 point deducted Norwich. So 20th, Bristol City. I think they'll finally no longer be a mid-table team, but they'll be falling more towards League One. The thing is that right now this could age horribly, considering Bristol are actually going way closer to promotion to the Premier League. And honestly, I'd be very happy if they did. It'd be very cool to see them up there. But I don't know. They just don't look like a team to me that would make it. But yeah. They'll be managed by Dean Smith. He'll be sacked. And Nathan Jones will be a part of the team for the last few months and keep them up. 19th, Bolton Wanderers. Newly promoted side. They'll be back in the Championship. And not only that, I think they would have been up already previously. They have had a promotion in 2028, but then go down. And then the following season, they would immediately win the League One title and come back. They'll be managed by Rob Edwards. I don't know, he just seems like someone that would probably take control of Bolton as well. 18th, Leicester. Yeah, they're going to be falling off bad. I mean, this might be a bit of a worse year than usual. I would say they're more of a mid-table change-up team, but this year I think they're going to drop more further down to 18th. I mean, let's be honest, the team has relied on players they probably shouldn't be relying on. As much as Jamie Vardy's brought a lot to Leicester, come on, he's 38. Not only that, for the last few years, he's been very on and off, and honestly, they should have just let him go to Wrexham if he wanted to, because, like, yeah, he is just not the player, and this is a huge problem for Leicester, and I think, yeah, they haven't focused on youth very much. They've not been very good in recent years in replacing players they need to replace. They're making a huge hole for themselves, and I think that it's going to really affect them in the 2030s. They're not going to be the same Leicester we've seen in the last decade at all. Yeah, they're going to be they're going to be very much in a championship mid-table for sure. Managed by Chris Davis, however, later in the season, he'll be sacked for West Ham legend Kevin Nolan, who is currently at Northampton. 17th, Oxford. They are the third and final newly promoted team I have here. I think Oxford will go down maybe 2026, and then they'll get a promotion again to the championship and go 17th. They'll have some good momentum, and maybe they can build on that in the future. They'll be managed by Phil Parkinson, who I think will have a huge managerial bounce from his time at Wrexham. I think he's going to get some championship offers after what he has done. I don't think he's going to be taking Wrexham into the Premier League. In fact, maybe in a year or two into Wrexham's time in the championship, I think he could be gone. Mainly because he's not really a championship manager, but that won't stop championship teams from offering him because of what he's brought to Wrexham in previous years. So I do think he'll have a chance at Oxford, and maybe he'll be in his peak in management at this point. 16th, Hull City. Every other year they're fighting for promotion or in a relegation battle, typical Hull City fashion like they are now. They'll be managed by Paul Heckingbottom. 15th, Stockport County. Yes, Stockport in 15th above Leicester City. It will be their third year. I think this is going to be their third year in the championship, and they're going to be slowly building towards something great in that team. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see Stockport in the Premier League in like 15, 20 years from now. It'd be crazy. They'll be managed by current Sunderland manager Regis Debris. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. 14th, Ipswich Town. I think they're going to have a bit of a drop-off since from their relegation they're probably having. But they will stabilize in the championship. I don't think they're going to be falling completely down. But yeah, they're going to be mostly a championship team. John Eustace. Later on, it'll be Liam Manning taking control of Ipswich. 13th, Millwall. I think they're going to be a pretty stable team, but they won't be really pushing too much for playoffs. The only thing that really conflicts with this is the manager I've given them is Sean Dyche. I really think Dyche is a good manager, and he can very much he can bring any team he wants to the top. But I just can't picture Millwall in the Premier League. I just can't. So it's kind of tough. I mean, like, does this logo really look like a team you would think of the Premier League? Like, really? I don't know, man. But the thing is, I totally pictured Dyche as a Premier League regular. I mean, all the stuff's done with Burnley. I also feel like Everton might have gone a little early on his sacking, though it makes sense, I guess. But I don't think it was his fault either for what happened at Everton. When he brought a completely useless Everton out of relegation somehow during points deducted, I mean, come on, that's crazy. That is like genuinely the best work he's ever done. And that says a lot. He brought Burnley to Europa League, so it's so conflicting. It's like, I don't know, but I have Millwall 13th. I have Sean Dyche 13th. 12th, Leeds. I think this is going to be a pretty bad year for them. This isn't a reflection of how good they really are. I could see them getting 1 year in the Premier League where they go right back down. I guess it would be this season. Coming up, 2026 will be the one where they go up, or in the Premier League, and then they go right down for 2027. But I think they'll have some struggles, and especially this year. They'll be managed by Chris Wilder, but will get sacked in around November, and probably have them in a relegation battle at that point. And James Milner will come in as his first official job and absolutely kill it. Either Milner is returning to Leeds in this upcoming season, potentially in his final professional season. I mean, come on, he's got to try to go after Gareth Barry's appearance record, or he stays at Brighton for another year And then following that, he'll become the assistant manager of Leeds or Brighton. That's what I think is going to happen. And then he's going to take the Leeds job regardless of what happens. From there, I really think that's the path for Milner coming up. So, yeah. 11th, Everton. I think they're still financially heading into the absolute shitter. Yes, they got a new stadium, but that doesn't just solve all your financial issues that you've been having for years. What if your attendance doesn't go up at Bramley-Moore Dock? What if it's still the same as Goodison Park? Then what? Because you got a way bigger stadium, but that doesn't automatically mean more people are going to be coming to the stadium. You got to perform, you got to be entertaining. And are you going to be performing? Are you going to be entertaining? You don't really know. And considering that Everton's had financial issues for a very long time, it's not like 1 year they can just change it all. I think the new owners, Dan Frankton, is not going to be having Everton fans' best interests in mind at all. He's going to be using Everton as a Roma feeder team, essentially kind of like how the Man City organization is. I think, yeah, Everton's just going to become one of those teams. They'll be like, I don't know, like Roma's Strasbourg or Roma's New York FC. Like, they're not going to be the top team they're looking forward to. No, they're going to just take players like Jordan Pickford, Decourier, Gay, Jared Branthwaite. They're just going to take those players, send them to Roma whenever they're good enough, and, well, there you go. You get nothing in return. Thanks for the business. Like, that's just what's going to happen. They're going to become a championship team. Any good youth academy product coming from Everton is going to be a future Roma player, probably, and yeah, it's just going to be a mess. At this point, they'll be managed by current Wycombe Wanderers manager Mike Dodds. 10th, Sunderland. I think they'll be newly relegated from the Premier League. And don't worry, Sunderland fans, I do not believe for a second you're getting another back-to-back relegation on you. However, this won't be particularly the best year for you guys, as you'll probably be about 9 or 10 points away from playoffs after, just like how you expected back in 2018. You guys expected a promotion fight, which you won't be getting. You might get a little scared from the start of the season. That could have you near relegation. But yeah, with the your manager Lee Carlsley getting sacked, Steve Cooper will come into the team and bring you guys in a much better position. 9th, Sheffield Wednesday. I don't even remember why I thought this, but I think Sheffield Wednesday is going to get promoted in 2028 and get relegated immediately, and then this will be their second season back down. They'll be managed by Gary O'Neill at this point. But I do very much believe that Sheffield Wednesday will be the more preferred team in Sheffield coming up, similar to how it was about a decade previously. Yeah. But I don't exactly remember why I thought Sheffield Wednesday would go up. 8th, Luton Town. I think they'll return to mid-table championship quality. I don't believe that they will be heading to League One either. I mean, depending on when this comes out, they might already be relegated, so I don't know, like, just the fact they went to the Premier League, and then, I don't know, Luton just felt like they were on way too good of a run. The fact that there could be speed running all the way back down the National League is just too crazy for me to handle. I think they'll barely stay up at this stage, and they'll be working towards returning to being a good, decent enough championship team. They'll still probably be about 7 points off playoffs, but they'll be managed by Tony Mowbray, who I think is a very stable championship manager to have. 7th, Burnley. They are, a slowly declining team, and will be managed by Valérien Ismail. I think Burnley, their time in the Premier League might be starting to run out. I think, they just whenever they go up, they keep going down, and it's just not looking too good. 6th, Swansea City. Newly relegated as well. I think they'll be heading to the Premier League in 2029. They'll lose the playoff final and will be managed by none other than Russell Martin. 5th, Blackburn Rovers. Yeah, I think Blackburn is going to win the 2030 playoffs, and we'll be seeing them in the Premier League for the first time in nearly 30 years. They'll be managed by Mark Robbins as well, who will be bringing them up there, which I believe will probably end up being his first time in the Premier League as a manager. 4th, Preston North End. They're going to lose the playoff semifinals because Preston fans are not allowed to feel happiness, apparently, according to the EFL, considering what happens to them every season is agonizingly rough every time. I don't think I've ever seen a Preston fan smile in my life. They'll be managed by Frank Lampard. 3rd, Southampton. I think they'll lose this playoff semifinals. This will be they'll have 2 relegations down to this league as well. And they'll be managed by Paul Simon. who I believe is managing in the Eredivisie. Second, Huddersfield. I think they're going to have a fluke season and get promoted. They won't be a team that anyone really, I guess a little bit similar to 2018, I guess pretty similar to 2017 when they went up. No one really rated Huddersfield to go up. That's exactly how it's going to happen here. They don't look like a team that should be doing well in the slightest, and they're going to somehow find a way to get up to the Premier League. They'll be managed by Gareth Southgate. Oh man, we're totally going to be spoiled with his incredible management abilities in the Premier League. First, Brentford, newly relegated side. They'll be managed by Dave Shellinor down here, and I think Brentford will be pretty good. They might even be almost a little too good to be down in the championship. I can see them getting like 101 points. Getting officially promoted by like the start of March. Well, guys, that'll do it for my 2030 championship prediction video. I can't wait to look back at this and see how absolutely terrible these predictions are in 5 years' time. And yeah, to me, 5 years is the future. I mean, I'm sorry I had to see this. Some of these predictions might be absolutely fucking humiliating to look at. But can't change the past. So, can't change the past. But hopefully I got at least one of these right, because that'd be awesome. In this or the Premier League one, at least, hopefully I got one of these, like, placements right. Maybe even the manager right. That would be pretty cool. I hope I did, because that... you would never hear the end of it if it's true, if it actually happened. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.